Good Friday morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, October 3rd. This will be the last fire potential briefing of the season. Starting Monday, we'll transition to our prescribed fire and smoke transport briefings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The 7-day product will continue to be maintained through the off-season as well. So looking at the impact map, quite a bit going on. A strong cold front shown by this dashed line through here. We have fairly dry and pretty windy conditions ahead of that front. So one more last minor hurrah for the fire season in these areas. Fine fuels are not really abundant, but anything that can burn could possibly do so as humidities drop down into the upper teens in some of these areas. But along and behind the front, much cooler, widespread precipitation, showers, also some snow in the higher elevations, and that'll make itself evident Saturday as the front crosses most of the area. Some steady snows across the Wasatch and the Tetons, several inches, possible mid-slopes to upper slopes. Again, and unsettled with showery weather continuing in many northern and central sections, and that precipitation tapers off and lifts out to the northeast on Sunday. Satellite imagery shows the bands of clouds and showers. This deep, low-pressure area near the Bay Area in California. This low is going to track across the Great Basin with that wet weather and those clouds, and also the strong winds with the tight packing of those height lines. We had quite a bit of precipitation here on the left, and some amounts were over an inch with long duration rains. And yes, there was some lightning in those areas, but precipitation was on the wetter side. New fire starts in the red, a few small fires, otherwise not a major issue. It's been a fairly wet week across much of northern, especially northeastern Nevada and into Idaho. A lot of areas, a half inch to an inch of rain in those greens and dark greens. A bit drier as you head further to the south and east. 100-hour fuels are still hanging in there by a thread. We usually don't get concerned until they're 10% or lower, somewhere between 11 and 15% in the yellows through there, and that's just in southern and some central areas, much more moist further north. The 1 month flash drought index shows that this measures not just precipitation, but the combination of humidity levels during that time, and it shows why we've been moistening so much. Upper level map for later today. This deep low is over in central Nevada by this evening. Widespread clouds and showers where you see the areas in green and black. And then ahead of the front in parts of southern Nevada and much of eastern or southern Utah, there's a dry wedge of air with fairly windy conditions. We've highlighted this in the yellow, where there's a slightly elevated chance of fire. That's because we have these strong winds of maybe 40, 50 miles an hour. You see the purple shades, humidity getting down into the upper teens to mid-20s in some of these areas. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now the low starts moving further northward into eastern Idaho by Saturday evening, but it'll still spread a swath of precipitation across parts of Utah, much of Wyoming and Idaho, and some of that will be snow, as snow levels could drop down to as low as 7,000 feet in some of these northern mountains. Looking at the winds, there's still going to be quite a bit of wind. The humidity is quite high across just about all areas, however, except maybe some far eastern or southeastern areas of Utah. And then on Sunday, trough full of pressure in there. Drier air comes in. We should see a lot more blue sky, but still unsettled, maybe some showers of rain or snow in the Tetons. Cool northerly transport flow through most areas. So most areas in the green through here. You see the humidity in most areas above 25%, except in the far south and east. Winds should become fairly light. Temperature change between now and Saturday. You can see a sharp change across the eastern Great Basin, maybe as much as a 20 to 25 degree difference in high temperatures as we go from today to tomorrow. So a sharp change. Folks up in Idaho already are feeling those cooler temperatures. 3-day precipitation totals shown here, covering about 80 to 90% of the geographic area. Now, as we go into Monday, another low pressure area forms over the Bay Area. Seems to be a favorite area formation. Also, a tropical system, tropical storm coming up from the south. We'll see that southern moisture start creeping northward, and we'll see how it interacts with that northern low, whether it kicks it out in this scenario, whether it fuses together. Models differ a little bit on the scenario, but kind of unsettled and maybe near normal temperatures, maybe slightly cooler than normal, which basically means our fire potential stays low through the period. And as we go into the 7-day precipitation totals, you see them through here. Late in the period, there is that southern wave of moisture that could get down into southern Utah by the end of the period. The models, again, differ on the progression of that moisture, so I'll have to just wait and see on that. Otherwise, the prolonged 8 to 14-day outlook continues to show that wetter than normal pattern. So some of that precipitation by day 7 or so could linger into day 8, day 9 in the south, and there could be another short wave coming into northern areas as well. So no fire potential issues in the foreseeable future. Again, this is the last fire potential briefing. The smoke transport products on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, except for holidays, begin next week. Have a great day and a great season.